Are we live yet? It's not loading.
Well, it's loading.
It's a virus scan?
Attention USC.
Olaf, what's up?
It's hard to hear. Get the back.
Let's see. All right, boys, tell me how audio is.
Look at that mic volume, though. It's barely moving.
Yeah! Let's check out the mic volume. Worst case, I'm going to swap it out for the loud mic. What's up, son? Sliding on with Seven Tech once again. I know the audio is going to be funny because we're at a show. Let me know if it's too bad and you can't hear us at all. If that's true, I'll switch to a lav mic.
It's a little low, yeah.
A little low. So let me do this.
Boost the level, yeah. Oh shit.
Boost by 10.
Yeah, I guess. But is it low in
Big fly 210.
OBS?
All right, so you can't hear at all. I just boosted it by 10 decibels. Is that too much?
Have the guy behind you on the microphone. They said that's better. Okay.
Okay. So we're good. All right. So this is a live stream of Mining Rig Wars episode 15, mainly because I was too lazy to get everything done and edited for the video before we could get it done. Joining me today is Hassan from B1 Tech. You can check him out at b1tech.com. He does PC modding, etc. He also has a mining case, sort of.
Yeah, we have.
You want to talk about that real quick?
A big, giant steel all-metal case. It all screws together. It makes it really easy to set up for mining. Currently, it supports 6 GPUs. We're going to be expanding it to 12. It does 2 PCUs at the bottom. The idea is it has a lot of room for airflow, so you can run them and not have the issues. And they're also stackable. It is not for the faint of heart. It's a little expensive, but it's also kind of the size of a 900D, and it's a much higher quality. You can also use it for water cooling or GPU rendering. But yeah, you can go check it out at b1tech.com. I'm sure if you go to YouTube and search it, there's a lot of people doing speed time-lapse builds in it that I've seen, and some user reviews.
So I dialed the audio up another 20. And this is Dane, DP, our pool mod, our mining pool mod. You guys have probably seen him on the channel before, or at least you've seen him in our Discord channel. So he's the guy you need to email, text, anything if you have any questions about the pools.
Yeah, not text. Don't do that.
I'll give out his personal number on Discord later, so be sure to hit that public Discord channel, and we'll be sharing his number. We're not going to do that. So without further ado, let's hop into Mining Rig Wars. I didn't have time to put the rig A, B, C, D. The voting poll should be right here above Hassan's head. You click that little exclamation point to vote for these rigs, and this is the first rig. So rig A is called Room Heater, pretty awesome name actually, by Bob, aka Shenmi. He's on YouTube, and I will, after this video, put a link to his YouTube channel in the description below, so be sure to come back and check it out. It is a Chinese language, spoken language mining channel, so if you speak that language and you want some more mining content, go check that out. He's rocking the Gigabyte GA-G41MT-S2, a UMAX 4GB DDR3 stick of RAM, an E5200 CPU, is that right? And a Silverstone, what is that? Can you read that?
ST60F EB power supply, I guess?
Yeah, okay. And 2 MSI AERO GTX1060s with Samsung memory, and an Inno3d Compact GTX1060 with hynix memory. No total hash rate, but I would tell you guys that with those, you're looking at a 24 mega hash a piece on the Samsungs, so that's 48. And then the hynix, you're looking at another 20, so about 68 to 70 mega hash a second is what I would say. It looks like it's custom angle bracket frame that he picked up from Home Depot, etc., and cut to size. Thoughts?
The Chinese version.
Chinese version.
I mean, it looks like a good beginner rig for, Zcash or Equihash. You're probably getting, what, 700, 800 cells per second, 280 cells per second per card, maybe a little bit more on the Inno3d if he's overclocked them, based on the rig that we just built. So, I mean, decent little beginner rig using old school hard drive on there, so could probably be more power conscious there if you replaced it with something for SMOS.
Yeah. We're not going to have any control over people talking, so we'll just, I guess, stop and let them finish if it happens again, if there's something important going on there. Alrighty, so that's rig A. If you want to vote for rig A, like I said, above Hassan's head, and you can click up there. Hassan, what do you think of this stuff coming from like PC modding?
It actually looks pretty well done for functionality purposes. There's plenty of room between each graphics card for airflow. I don't think there's much you could do for the cable management in this case, but I don't see stuff like burning out all over the place.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty good.
Cool. All right, so we're gonna move on to rig B. Oh, this isn't gonna work. Hold on, guys. There we go. I can do it that way. This is just, it's not as fancy as the typical mining rig wars, so we're just gonna have to go with it. This is actually our first burst coin miner on the channel. This is gonna be rig B, guys. Our first, I guess, hard drive mining, plotting, I think is what we decide what we're gonna be calling that. It's rig B. He's called it Project Midnight. It's by Kent, so thanks for the submission, Kent. He is rocking an AMD FX 4300 quad core. I used to have one of those in my gaming PC. 4.9 gigabytes of RAM. Not sure what he's talking about there. That's kind of odd. I guess 4 gigs of RAM, or 8 gigs, and the OS did something funky to the RAM.
Maybe had a 4 gig stick and a 1 gig stick.
A 4 gig
weird.
stick and a 1 gig stick. The Silverstone HTPC case. A Corsair 450 watt power supply with 5 WD 4 terabyte externals, 10 WD 8 terabyte externals, a WD 1 terabyte internal, a Sandisk 240 gigabyte SSD, a Seagate 160 gigabyte, I guess regular hard drive, and a Kingston 64 gigabyte USB. Holy moly, that's a lot of storage, a lot of external storage too, all racked up pretty interestingly.
Did he confirm he was mining burst with that?
Yeah, he said he was doing burst. He was making $80 a month with the low power consumption. He's doing okay though.
Yeah, well, it's recently gone up since he submitted that, because I believe I remember seeing.
This was a while ago, so that's probably making quite a bit more than $80 a month right now. So he said that you know, you guys see that the power supply is what, the 450 watt. That's it.
Yeah.
So compared to GPU mining, this is a lot cheaper on your power bill. It might be something you want to look into. I'm just now starting to kind of look at it, but for us personally, all the drives that we have, I need for 4K video, I need for VMs for the pools. I'm running out of space more than finding a need to do this.
I wonder what the failure rate on the hard drives are for this.
Yeah, there's no hot swapping here.
So the interesting part about mining burst, though, and stuff like that, is it does what's called plotting, and it's just basically little like hashes that it writes to the drive. So the way it stores the data is pretty neat, because it's technically a bunch of data, but it's on one little hash string. So it doesn't write and read as much to that drive as you would think, only when people upload or download from burst, which is the same thing kind of like storage, where it plots the data on there, and then only when they download or upload to that plot does it actually access that drive. And so, I mean, it seems like a pretty good idea for it to use the externals. I probably would go with internals personally, just because of the failure rate. I think externals is probably a bad idea, but...
Now I'm assuming, though, he's using external USB-powered devices there. You can see on the top.
Yeah.
So he's got externally powered USB devices, which is probably pulling more power from the wall than we can't calculate or know about, other than that 450 watts. So, I don't know. If you guys are more interested in, I guess, the burst coin kind of mining, etc., let me know in our Discord. Like I mentioned and plugged earlier, we might kind of get into it a little bit. The only thing I could really test with was like maybe 1 4 terabyte drive or something.
Yeah.
Which might not even be worth it.
I recently came across about 20 terabytes that I could test, maybe 5 or 10 terabytes on there, and give burst a shot if people are interested in it. I'm with Adam here though. This thing looks really neat for the amount of stuff he crammed in there. The cable management's pretty well done and looks manageable. And
if you look a little bit closely, he's got all of those external drives labeled.
Wow. Yeah, he clearly measured stuff before he built that rack, because it's like the perfect amount of space.
Or maybe he got the perfect amount of stuff for the rack.
Maybe.
If you guys want to vote for him, it's going to be Rig B, and you can check it out above Hassan's head. There we go.
I'm gonna stand up now.
All right, so now we have Rig C. Looks like we got some Asus 1060s or something going on in there. Let me pull up our dock so we can tell you guys what's in here. is named Beauty, and it's by Brian, so thanks for the submission, Brian. He's rocking the TB250 BTC motherboard, which I'm going to say is from BioStar, and it's the Intel Celeron G3930 processor, pretty standard processor. Welcome to the Celeron Club. With the Kingston HyperX Fury 4 gigabytes of memory with a Western Digital 120 gigabyte green SSD, the Asus Duel GTX1060s, 8 gigabyte cards. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a standard 6-card build there. And the Corsair RM series, or RM1000X. And he custom built this, so it looks like angle aluminum bracket on the case there. I like how he did mount. It looks like he even did like a little L bracket there to keep that in place. Is that the hard drive?
Button? Oh, it looks like a vandal switch.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a power button, like an easy access power button.
Yeah, and his hash rate is what? 2,500 souls? Yeah.
Now, see, something doesn't seem right there, right? Because that's what? That's 6 1070s, and he's getting 2,500 souls. And that rig that we just built for the guys at the office is 6 1060s, and they're getting about 2.1 kill souls.
I mean, what? Those only get between 350 and 400, right? GTX 1070s.
Wow.
Depending on how you overclock them.
Okay,
But
well then, yeah, then the
2,400 divided by 6.
well then I guess that reiterates why we think the 1060 is the better buy, right? Because
Well, right now for sure, because you can't. Well, actually, none of them is a better buy because you can't buy any of them. So there you go. Yeah, the frame looks really good. I like this build. I think it's super clean and very practical, like incredibly practical.
Yeah, the case layout's almost exactly like the one we have, but just turn on inside.
Yeah.
The fan mounts on our case, I could wrap all the way around as like a U. You could fit 10, but I like how it just has it on one side. I don't know how accessible a PSU is on this thing.
yeah, I can't see where that is.
But
Probably
it does seem like the
back
motherboard, you know, you probably just screwed it in from the top, and then those look pretty well mounted. I think it's a pretty good design. Overall.
Yeah. I have no complaints about it.
Yeah,
Airflow is definitely good between all those cards.
It looks like he's been building this exact same frame over and over again.
Yeah,
There's one to
I
the
get-
left
yeah.
of it there. I'm not sure what cards are in the other one.
I can't even
difference
see
is,
the 6
blue
pins
LED
on there. Can
fans.
you guys?
I mean, the only thing I would do, honestly, at this point is I would stop doing SSDs and just do USB, live USBs
Yeah.
with Linux. It's just easier. They're cheaper to replace. You know, $8. I think I just paid for I bought like 10 off Amazon for $8 a piece. That's going to save you a lot of money, and they're really quick hot swaps. So there you go. And thanks for the donation, Jay Moore. You rock. Alrighty, so moving on to Rig D. Aussie Miner by Matt. Thanks for the submission, Matt.
I think it's Aussie,
Aussie.
like Australian.
Well, I get that. I'm just pronouncing it wrong.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Aussie?
I might have heard it.
Is Aussie the way I said Aussie? You're right.
sure.
You're right.
Is it Aussie
You're
or
right.
Aussie? I guess you can.
This is Crypto Down Under. I feel like he knows the answer to that.
Probably. So he's rocking a cheap Chinese eBay 6 GPU frame. I hope that was easier to build than the one we got. An Asus Z270-AR motherboard with the Celeron G3930. Welcome to the Celeron Club. And the G.Skill value, 4 gigabytes of memory at 2133. An Evga Supernova 1000 watt GPU power supply. An old 320 gigabyte Seagate hybrid from a previous gaming rig, blah, blah, blah. It's got the eBay risers, 2 G1 gaming 6 gigabyte 1060s, and Evga 6 gigabyte 1060, and a Galax Exox. I'm not familiar with Galax cards. EXOC. I guess like extreme overclock.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And Evga Founders Edition 1070. So he didn't put his hash rate on here. We could probably calculate this out pretty quick though. You're looking at 40, 60, 80, and then probably another 30. You're looking at about 120 mega hash a second, somewhere around there. It's hard to tell without knowing the actual type of memory in the 1060s. I can't really tell you exactly, of course, so anywhere from 120 to 130 on that. As far as I can tell, the frame looks like it's pretty damn functional. I'm going to pull it up over here. We have a small 24-inch screen, guys, so it's a little hard for us to see everything. Yeah, so he's got the 4, that looks like the Corsair series SP fans in the front, or even the airflow fans, but it's got the ring on it. Got 4 of those up front, blowing back, same kind of standard style.
Now, if I can see everything correctly, it looks like he's zip tied down all the cables, so it looks like the cable management, from what I can see, is pretty well done.
How many cards is that right there?
See, that's what I was trying to tell, because it says
what
he
did it say in
has.
the specs?
So in his specs that he sent over, he says that he's got what 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. I guess there could be
5.
1, 2, 3. There's something here.
Oh, did he stagger? Yeah, there's 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I think that white one at the end is the 5th one, I guess.
Oh, right back here, the one that lights on?
Yeah.
Oh, there's one in between those two.
Yeah, there's a little small white one in between there and then another small one.
Yeah, I can see him.
So he just got all kinds of brands on there, but made it work.
Mixed matched. So, looks good to me. What rig is this?
Yes.
I wish we could get some better pictures on this one. I'll try to upload some more on our... I'll try to upload...
We're getting that one set up right now.
Keep talking every time I talk. We'll try to put up, I have one more picture from this, I'll put it up on the website at sonofatech.com, so check that one out as well.
Just walk over there and be like, can you stop, we're streaming?
I saved the best for last this week. Yeah, so this is these are all Rosewell for you cases in a rack. So yeah, it gets a little complicated here, but essentially he's running all of them. I think he said he's running the Asus Z270-ARs in. Okay, he modified the cases, the 4U cases, to fit 6 each in, and then he has 12 GTX 1060 6GB, 12 GTX 1070 8GB, 6 RX 470 8GB, 6 RX 480 8GB, 12 RX 470 4GB, and then he's running the EVGA 1600 G2 in some of them, and then in the ones with the 1060s or the lower power, like the 470 480s, he's running the HX1000i from Corsair, and he's got the Rosewell 4U cases, like I mentioned earlier, all racked up there. It's crazy.
And I'd kill to know if he's running an APC somewhere for a battery backup with that many rigs, or like a PDU on the sides or the back of the rack or something.
Oh yeah.
But it's got to be running 220 at that point, right, with 1600 watt power supplies?
Yeah. And by the way, the rig we just talked about earlier is 9th rig, and he had a 6-card 1080 Ti. My bad about that. So if we start...
I'm curious to know the functionality and price, cost, like difference between this and like static AR cases, and how that would differentiate.
The Rosewells are hot item because you can rack them in the server rack.
So it makes it easy to go up.
Yeah. And so like for a setup like this, you know, like how many GPUs has he got here? 12, 24, 36
Definitely
GPUs?
looks really cool.
36 GPUs in that. And I mean, you're talking about pretty damn efficient on space, you know.
Yeah.
Cooling's always a problem. It does look like he's not running the top on these.
Yeah, well, I'm betting because of the cooling, yeah.
He modified it to fit more cards because those cases only hold like what, 4 cards? Something
Well,
like that?
they recently redid it with 6, so I don't know if he bought the original.
Okay.
So 2 things, right? He either, depending on how long ago the submission was, he might have bought it and then actually bought the server chassis where you rip out the frame, that one piece of aluminum that they have running across there, and then they mount it themselves on the front of the rig by drilling holes. Or he bought the GPU version, which I think does 6, and now they have an 8, and now I think they're working on a 16 to have 16 cards in one chassis, which I think would probably be a bad idea. Yeah.
I mean, we can sit there and wait to click buy, I guess, but yeah, these are some pretty hot cases. I mean, I want them.
Now, were you saying yours are stackable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is you can actually access the PCUs just by sliding them out from the back. And on the front side, you got your I/O right at the front, and everything kind of just laid out on the GPU bracket. So you can actually access all your cards right there.
And you have a new one coming out that goes up to
12 graphics cards. And there's 3 fans at the front, 4 fans from the PCU side blown up, and 3 fans on the left side. So 10 fans in total. But for the 12 one, because they're going to be a lot tighter, we're going to add fans at the top as well.
Shit. And then the 12 GPUs are going to be stackable as well?
Yeah.
All right, so if you guys want to vote for this one, you can vote for Rig E up in the corner above Hassan's head. It keeps pointing to the wrong section. And I guess we can wrap today up with a little bit of Q&A with you guys and do a little bit, since we're already live, let's go ahead and do that. Start getting your questions out, and I'll go to full screen here. Once again, you got Dane, our pool operator for coins.sonovatech.com, and we got Hassan from B1 Tech, which is also coming out with some new mining cases as well. Let's get into this. Any info about the new Ryzen 12 nanometer? Did you see anything at CES?
I did see some stuff at AMD CES. Looks like they're just going more power efficient. It's going to be more cost effective and more powerful, so good in all directions.
All good. Do you know how much more powerful? 10 to 15%?
Yeah. It's just
are we going to be able to overclock past 4 gigahertz now?
I'm not sure actually. I don't remember them talking about that too much.
Okay. 1066 gigabyte, 1070 or 1070 Ti for mining. Right now, whatever's in stock at retail is going to be your best bet. If we're talking about just the cards versus each other, I would lean towards the 1070 because no matter what memory you get shipped with it, it performs about the same all the time, every time. And that means you can calculate your ROI easier. Now the 1070 Ti, you can do the same on, but it just is a more expensive version. It doesn't get that much better than the 1070 in my experience or my testing so far. The 1060 is going to be highly dependent on which type of memory you get.
Yeah, and based on like the mining that we've just done, this build, 1060 build for one of our other guys, another one of our coworkers is building the RX 580s, and then we've done some 1070s. It almost always looks like a safe bet to calculate around 100 days ROI as a safe bet. If you can find out a coin that you can mine back in 100 days, then it's worth it. And I've seen that work with 1070s, I've seen it work with 1060s. I haven't verified it with 1080 Ti's because of the price, but usually it's what, $100 per, I can't, there's a little formula you can look up, but if you watch anybody like Boss, you watch Blind Run, you'll see that the ROI usually works out to about 100 days. As long as you're mining a profitable coin at the time. So really it's just what you can power safely and what cards are in stock.
So somebody picked up an EVGA 1080, or 1080 for 500. That sounds like a good deal right now. $80 extra for the 1070 Ti. What was the next question? I missed it.
Yeah, Rob Scanlon, or Scanlon, that's one of the things I was noticing too, is the smaller cards are kind of overlooked, but I was looking at the RX 560s, right, and if you were to get 7 of those things going, you've got a decent little mining rig that's available right now. If you're trying to get your foot wet, get a step in the door, it might be easier to swallow the ROI of a 1050 Ti or the RX 560 series cards because they are still in stock for around $124 to $139 depending on where you can get them. And that ROI, like you said, does sit around 100 days. Just make sure to account for your power supply that you're going to buy, how many cards, because the bigger power supply and all that's going to cost you more ROI.
Any rumors at CES or in general when consumer Volta cards are going to hit the stores? I heard that they kept pretty close mouths on that.
Yeah, I mean, I went through the suite at the Venetian and there was not much going on like that was in your face. If there was a behind the scenes, like for cooler people than me to see, I wasn't able to see that.
I wasn't able to see that. Yeah, I haven't heard any rumblings of it. I think they're holding off because they don't need to.
Back to the Ryzen thing, I do remember they were integrating a lot more into mobile now, and they actually had a thing where they're producing the GPU more of Intel's new CPU, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I did see that.
Mr. Tony Cole, we normally do it I do it from Newegg and Amazon. I don't know if Blind sources them elsewhere, but typically Newegg and Amazon, since we're in the US, is where I get mine.
Yeah, same here, Newegg and Amazon. I like Amazon mainly because they have affiliate links I can share with y'all, which helps the kickback for the channel. Newegg's a great option. I don't recommend buying from Newegg with Bitcoin because you're just going to need to pay yourself later. Go ahead and use USD. Some people have dropped way too much money on Bitcoin on accident using that, but I mean, maybe it's kind of stabilized a little bit better.
Spampa, I was saying the RX 560, I'm sorry, the guy behind us is talking again, I realize it now, but RX 560 and the GTX 1050 Ti's are kind of what I was saying are good starter builds if you guys are trying to get in the door right now while everything's sold out.
any news on RX Vega 64. What do you mean any news? That card's been out for a while, been tested pretty thoroughly on mining by everyone. Yeah, they just need to restock them pretty much. I guess they had the Power Color Red Devils out at CES, which has the custom cooling option, but they were coming in at what, $900? So that's pretty nuts. Front camera has been blurry. Why, I ask, is your 21 computer or AM miner? Yeah, so the camera is just a C920. It's just going to be what we're doing since we're live right now. We would have to go get cap cards and all that kind of stuff to up the quality, and we're not going to be able to stream in more than 720p, 30 FPS, so it's really a mute point, and the auto focus is what it's going to do. It's focusing on me, right?
We hope so.
In terms of other places to get your card, I know locally, like you go to Micro Center and Fry's, but they are limiting like some to 1 to 3 cards per person per model.
Well, and so Micro Center in Houston actually has cards that they're not even saying they have online right now. So if you actually drive over there, it'll say out of stock online, and you can pick up some cards there. We just had a coworker pick some up.
They are still limit 2 per household now, where you were going with that. Yeah, our coworker just went up there and did get limited to 2 per household too. So he was only able to walk out with 2 GTX 1060s.
So you can take friends.
Talk to like a buyer from there. They can get you a bunch and back order. But I'm not sure that.
But even our distribution, even like all the distribution companies for IP companies are running out. They're out of everything. They're even out of P6000.
Have you guys heard anything new about the Baikal Giant B miners? Good or bad?
No, I haven't. Nothing about those miners in particular. I probably need to see some more stuff. At this point in time, the ASICs are better. I think masternodes are the best option. I'm going to push that until I die, probably, because you're talking about really low power consumption on those. You're talking about 1 CPU, 1 gig of RAM, get decent ROI on most of them, and until you can start building, you know, a mining farm with GPUs that aren't costing an arm and a leg, I think it's the best way to reinvest right now.
Yeah. And you're already starting to hear trends like with Ripple, where people are complaining about power consumption for mining. So if that trend continues and we start seeing that people are talking about power consumption, those masternode coins are going to be where people start shifting the attention to. So that's another reason we think masternodes are a good idea to look into.
And now with Dash too, you can get into like a shared masternode. You can look that up and find it and invest, you know, a lower amount than what a full cost of a masternode for Dash, for example, would cost you. So there you go. Just wait, don't just dive now. I have 2 ASICs, you need the whole environment to use them, so loud. Well, yeah, you wouldn't want to use them in your house. It's not very home friendly, especially if you have anybody but yourself living there. So, yeah.
That's another positive about our cases, I guess. They're kind of enclosed, and you can use tons of quiet fans. There's a guy who posted that his wife wouldn't let him get a rig unless it was inside like a case. And so it was either our case or no rig.
Bud says, I just ordered a Dell's Precision T1700 i7-4770, 3.4 gigahertz, blah, 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 16 gigs of RAM, and I'm going to turn it into a gaming rig. Excuse me, finish that.
Yeah, just buy a new power supply and a video card. Yeah, but that's those are good rigs for doing that. Actually, I think Blind Run has one that's running at our office that he uses for a slash gaming and free time, and then office work during the day.
Yeah, I don't game at the office.
But yeah, he turned a T3500.
Yeah, I had a T3500. The video's on this channel as well. I think I did something ridiculous like 5 SSDs in RAID 0 on it and stuff like that. I don't have the dual proc extender, and then somebody needed it. Do you have my other 5675? I think I gave my other 5675 either to Dane or just another coworker. Possible, but I'm not sure. I can't remember. South America, Africa, Australia, question mark. San Antonio, Texas, baby.
I guess because James at SA, greetings from SA.
Yeah, greetings
I'm assuming that's San Antonio. He knows PAX is going on.
Or he means South Africa. He's coming from the chat. Last question, fellas. How do you guys handle your taxes on dividends made from mining?
We're actually not allowed to legally talk about taxes. Not a whole lot we can tell you there, except for technically you're supposed to track what you make daily, at what price. So whatever open and close prices, write those down into an Excel spreadsheet for that coin for that day. It's a pain in the ass, but that's what the IRS is requiring this year for 2018.
Yeah, go get a CPA, and the CPA will have you, because not a lot want cryptocurrency miners right now, unfortunately.
I ignore the T word. Yeah, that's the way to go. Seems like that's the last question. Good time to wrap up.
Yeah, sure. Any recommendations on mining SW, Claymore, SMOS? SW, I don't believe, but
I don't know either, but SMOS has been working great for us, so.
We're going to wrap it up. The expo hall is going to be closing here. Check out Hassan at v1tech.com. You're also on Twitter, Instagram.
All over the place.
Really cool builds, and he's working on more mining cases that I think we're going to be showing off on the channel. So
yeah. The name for it is called Dopa Mine. So it's kind of like a play on words.
Get
there.
it? Dopa Mine. All right, that's a good one. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, we'll see you next Tuesday.